Hello everyone, it's me, it's Steedoj here, back to more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and we have a new trailer with a new update on the motion controls when it comes to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. You can see all the animations and actions you have to take to fire a Kamehameha. It's gonna be just like the good old days of Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. But there are actually some differences, some minor ones, some major ones, some good and very few bad ones. So without further ado, I want to talk about it because this trailer pretty much just shows you everything when it comes to the motion control system. And I'm a very big fan of what I'm seeing here, other than, again, a few small things. We'll start with the awesome stuff. This all just looks great. Sparking Zero on a Switch looks surprisingly good. Now, they are playing on the Hyperlock Time Chamber map, which we know is actually the split-screen co-op map, because it's probably the least graphic-intensive map in the game, and that's what they're showing off for the Switch too. But regardless, though, this still looks really good on the Switch. I do wish we had a big, strong console like the Wii again for a game like this, but it's a-okay, it's fine, it's okay, it's alright, it's chill. But the controls, again, they look great. Motion controls look pretty simple to use. They look pretty easy to use, especially compared to the Wii version, actually, where you had to do certain animations and actions that would be really hard to do because, again, it's lower tech compared to what we have now, where everything's pretty much smooth, clean, fine, dandy. It works, except sending an email. That's still somehow the hardest thing you can do, even with modern technology. Like, seeing the poses and animations being referenced to obviously do everything, the clashes, bro, clashes must be so much easier on this, because clashes on the Wii version of, Tenkaichi 3 was super easy compared to clashes on, the controller. Like, if you go into a clash with an AI or an NPC, you would literally never lose on the Wii, because you have motion controls just hard carrying, but on a controller, it's, way harder to mash a button compared to how much an AI could mash a button, you know? So, I'm actually very curious to see what's different, because even beam clashes were entirely different in Tenkaichi 3 because you could just shake the controllers up and down. But in this game, beam clashes are on a timed mechanic, so I'm curious to see how they work in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Now, I'm going to talk about a really cool thing here I actually noticed during the trailer. You can actually see in the trailer, there's actually an orientation thing at the bottom of the screen. I think it's just supposed to let you know which direction your controllers are technically facing, because you can pick up a controller after you press start match, and your controller will be facing whichever direction you left it in the room when it was doing that. So the game actually is telling you about the orientation, which I think is very convenient, because I swear to God, most Wii games wouldn't even tell you if it were the actual direction your Wii remote was facing, or how the actual control system was because of the way you left the Wii remote when the match actually started, or when the game actually started, or whatever in general. You know when you boot up a Wii game, I'm gonna turn on Metroid or Sonic and the Secret Rings, and then you put your Wii remote on the ground so you can go get yourself orange juice or something, and then you come back and the game's controllers are broken because the game thought you would be holding the controller upright facing the TV. You know, this game actually is showing you an orientation thing, which I think is super duper cool. I can't think of many other games that have that, so that's going to be really goddamn fun. Well, I mean, it's fun because you actually know what you're dealing with, and I think it makes doing super attacks easy as well, because you know which direction everything is facing for you to actually input the super attack button as well. So that's actually also super convenient. When it comes to doing stuff like smash attacks, bro, it's probably going to be easier to do smash attacks on this than it'll be to do them on an actual controller, because I remember doing smash attacks on the Wii was way easier than doing them on controllers, even in Tenkaichi 3, so it's probably going to be the same even in Sparking Zero as well. Now, one small thing I think that kind of bothers me, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but one thing that bothers my Tenkaichi 3 brain after playing Tenkaichi 3 is that the motion controls themselves seem way simpler. Now, this could be a way to make the game just more reasonable to play. You could say maybe some of the motion controls in Tenkaichi 3 were just kind of, weird or hard to do, or could be difficult, and this is the only way to make it easier, right? But I if you see the Kamehameha input in the trailer, it is just kind of really basic, right? It's just hold two controllers up and then throw both controllers forward. It's not even a good example of the Tenkaichi 3 one, where even the icon would show you have to pull your arm back, in a low down way, you're actually charging up a Kamehameha, and throw both hands forwards with one hand on top and one hand on the bottom. And even with Final Flash, it was very different. You had to pull both arms to the side in a wide-ways fashion, and then you have to pull them both forwards, like side to side. It was so different, man. Even Death Beam was just raise your controller up and then push your controller forward, because that's the way Frieza always fired it. He always raised his finger up in a slow, ominous manner, then just stuck his finger out forward. It was really, really cool, and it doesn't seem like this has that. Maybe you could see a little bit of it in the Special Beam Cannon, because Special Beam Cannon seems to show that, you do have to raise your arm up to your head or somewhere to your center mass before you stick your finger out actually forward. And in Tenkaichi 3, a Special Beam Cannon, if I recall, was you had to put your controller basically over the other shoulder because that was the fastest way for the game to recognize that you were, you know, raising your hand up in a quick fashion, and then, you know, obviously blasting your finger forward. That's just a very minor thing for me. I'm just like nerding out because, you know, I actually played a lot of Tenkaichi 3 when I was a kid, so I actually remember all of these things. Even the death balls, like, okay, if you were using a one-handed death ball, you would use one hand. If you're using a two-handed death ball, you would use both hands. Stuff like that was just so unique. Even like doing like fire attacks, like gigantic flame from like Baby or Hirudegarn, the animations would be different because you have to like pull the controller to the side, and then like you have to pull like both the Wii remote and the nunchuck to the side, and then raise your fists up like you're trying to charge ki or something. Explosive Wave was very different. You had to cross both arms, and then you had to, like, you know, shoot them both out to both sides. I don't know. It's just, I'm just ranting about very small things, probably. But it's just something I noticed. And I think this comes out in a month, so I don't know if there's a lot of time to change this. This will probably just be the way it releases. But maybe, you know what? Maybe since it's a trailer, we're not showing that much. But we've already had our hopes up for Sparking Zero once, and I don't want to say anything too mean, but we weren't exactly, you know, expectations weren't exactly met. Yeah, but I'm still going to remain optimistic because, you know, I'm not actually playing the Switch version of this game for once, so I'm going to be optimistic for the children, all right, or the parents who are going to get it for their children, or for the friends who have a Switch more than anything else, so they just want to play their favorite Dragon Ball game on the Switch. I'm actually curious to see everything that changes with this, like with the motion control system, because I wonder if it's gonna just make everything kind of like the way it was in Tenkaichi 3, where like every single like action you did in the fight is kind of governed by the direction you're holding your, you know, the controller or the nunchuck. Like, bro, I remember when you did lifting strike before, I'm pretty sure in Tenkaichi 3, you'd have to like knock someone up into the air, and instead of jumping after them like you would in Sparking Zero, you had to like just raise the nunchuck up to like go and chase them. I don't know if they'll be that like lore accurate with the control system, because that's kind of insane. It wasn't even insane that they did that back then. And the fact that it even worked back then at all was pretty crazy. So I don't think that will get like not every combat thing is going to show up, which is a little bit tragic because, you know, it's actually fun to do all of these actions manually with a Wii remote and a nunchuck. Even when I was playing Tenkaichi 3 recently on the channel, these were all still really fun things to do with motion controls. And the Switch, obviously it's a different system, but I'm curious to see how Sparking Zero works with this system, because maybe that's all the Sparking Zero needs to be the game that people you know, wanted out of it, you know, to be the real Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4. But I think that's a solid place to end the video regardless. Talking about this game in general is such a weird thing for me to do, because I have to like balance out what I don't like about it and my disappointments with things that are very obviously, like, you know, in the realm of possibility that they can actually add to the game and do, which does keep me, it does keep my hopes higher than I think they probably should be realistically, especially considering the situation that Sparking Zero is in. Every time you turn around and you look at it, but yeah, I can't think of much else to say about this new trailer, new update to the control system. Maybe we'll see something else next month when it actually officially releases. But for now, I think that this is a solid place to end the video, guys. Again, if you guys enjoyed the video, once again, please leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe, it greatly supports the channel, and leave a comment down below as to what you'd like to see next, gamers. I do love you all. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Take care and peace.